The iPhone 17 Pro Max drop test is finally here, where it's going head-to-head against the Galaxy S25 Ultra. This year, Apple looks to have made some really big improvements, with the 17 Pros not only getting an aluminum unibody, which means that there's literally less glass on the back to crack to begin with, but the portion that still is glass now uses ceramic shield, which Apple says is 4 times stronger. On top of that, the glass on the front is even tougher than before with ceramic shield 2, which Apple says delivers 3 times better scratch resistance. Of course, the Galaxy has some advantages of its own. It has Corning's Gorilla Armor on the front, and unlike Apple, it's still using titanium instead of aluminum while also being 15 grams lighter. Will that be enough for it to beat the iPhone, or will Apple's durability claims prove true? Let's find out. Let's get to round number 1 in the 1 meter backdrop. Okay, so you were able to see it in that slow-mo footage. The rear glass on the iPhone cracks, but at least compared to the Galaxy, it's not that bad. Now, part of this has to do with the fact that there's just less glass to crack to begin with, but part of it also could be due to the extra structural strength that aluminum unibody is providing. Whereas on the Galaxy, not only is the glass just shattered, but it almost looks like the glass near the telephoto camera is caving in a bit. And if you look closely at the camera system, unfortunately, that laser autofocus also has a crack in it, as well as both of the telephoto cameras. Now, the good news is it doesn't seem to affect the Galaxy's functionality after our 15-point inspection, but it is a clear win for the iPhone in round number 1. Round number 2, 1 meter corner drop. 2, 1. So the good news is both phones still remain fully functional, but the bad news, at least for the iPhone, is that aluminum does not look good at all. Not only is it scuffed up really bad, but it is also dented. Like, I don't think I've ever seen damage like this before. It might just be due to the thinner bezels that Apple is using now compared to the last time they used aluminum, but compared to the Galaxy and its more premium titanium, it's no contest. I mean, the Galaxy looks almost like it wasn't even dropped on its corner, giving it the easy win in round number 2. Round number 3, 1 meter face drop. 3, 2, 1. Alright, moment of truth, did one of these phones survive? And no, whether you call it Gorilla Armor or Ceramic Shield 2, both phones unfortunately have their glass cracked. Now, I will say, at least compared to previous generations from a few years ago, these cracks aren't as bad as the full-on shattering that we've seen. But at least for the iPhone, it was unlucky enough to have some of its spiderwebbing go over that new selfie camera, which is causing flare issues. Now, the good news is Face ID still works perfectly fine, as does the fingerprint scanner on the Galaxy, but because the Galaxy still retains its perfect functionality, it gets the edge in round number 3. Round number 4, 1.5 meter backdrop. 3, 2, 1. So with both phones already having their rear glass cracked, at this point we're more interested in their impact and shock resistance, plus any secondary damage, which for the iPhone, there isn't a whole lot. It looks pretty much the same as before, apart from some of the scuffing around the camera housing, where on the Galaxy, it's a different story, with all 5 of its camera system elements now having cracks in it. I mean, the ultrawide is completely shattered, and that main 1x camera is also in pretty bad shape. And as you would expect, it's showing up in the image quality, with there being significant flaring issues on the ultrawide, as well as a bit of flare on the main camera. Whereas on the iPhone, the camera system is holding up just fine, giving it the win in round number 4. Round number 5, 1.5 meter corner drop. 2. After that 1.5 meter corner drop, the iPhone's aluminum looks even worse than before, with a lot of that orange paint now stripping away. But the bigger issue is what's happened to its main 1x camera, which has now lost its ability to focus, meaning anything that isn't at just the right distance away will appear blurry. Whereas on the Galaxy, the cameras do still technically work, obviously outside of the flaring, with the titanium corner looking almost perfect. I mean, there are barely any scuffs and 0 dents. So it's a big win for the Galaxy in round number 5. Round number 6, 1.5 meter face drop. 3, 2, 1. So with that final drop straight onto its face, there isn't too big of a difference between the two. I mean, obviously the glass on both phones are now more shattered than before, but that's to be expected given that they were already cracked. But the big thing we're looking for is additional loss of functionality, which at this point doesn't really seem to be the case, with both phones working just as they were in the last round. So I'm gonna have to call it a tie in round number 6. Alright, so with all 6 rounds in the books, it's time to take a look at the scorecard, where in round number 1, the iPhone's aluminum unibody translated into less damage not just to the glass panel, but also to the camera system. In round number 2, the Galaxy's titanium looked pretty much undamaged compared to the scuffed and dented frame on the iPhone. In round 3, the phones did pretty much the same outside of a hairline crack through the iPhone selfie cam. In round 4, every single element on the Galaxy's camera system either cracked or shattered, with the iPhone only suffering some scuffs. In round 5, all that brute force on the corner caused the iPhone to lose actual functionality on its main 1x camera, which presumably would be more expensive to repair. And then finally, in round 6, well, both phones held up roughly the same, which